Mace, have you ever heard of the three biggest lies in pro hockey? To go back to your loyalty story for a second.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear. I'll verify if I agree.
Checks in the mail. You're only going down for 2 weeks, and the third one we can't say publicly,
Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that.
especially the third one. One question I had for you, and this is something I've been trying to just like decode on like a personal level. I feel like as men, we have this like inner like sense of duty and honor. Like the men on the Titanic, they would rather not get on a lifeboat and be known as cowards. So instead, they left their families and just went to freeze in the water. And like as a man, like when I was
Is this
playing,
going into a cold plunge thing? Is that where you're going with the cold water?
we will later. This guy's scared of cold water. But I always found like when I was playing, I wanted to have that loyalty to the team that I'm playing for. Like you guys picked me, you guys signed me, you guys are signing my paychecks every Wednesday for as little as it was. I want to give you my absolute best, and then learning there's zero loyalty. You're just an asset until you're no longer useful, and starting to realize is this like sense of honor and duty and going down with the ship doing me a disservice? I think especially in the minor pro game it is, but it's something that I found like as men we have, at least I anyway, have such like a strong sense of that, almost to a detriment. Do you relate to that at all?
Yeah, I do. As you get older, I think you start to understand the business side of things, and you realize like what some of the things people told you, they're full of shit. Whether it's agents or teams, organizations. I found like coaches are usually they're managing the team. They're just trying to win, and a lot of times it's management, and they've got a job to do too. But I think as a player, you're responsible to protect yourself. And, I didn't have that knowledge back when I played. I know you probably didn't either. Dave, you played junior, didn't you?
Yep. Yeah, I had a cup of
Yeah.
coffee.
So that's even worse. That's even more cutthroat. It's, you come there you move everything, you go 2 weeks and like, we found this other guy from here. So sorry about that. Good luck. And you got nothing to do. So I think, having the knowledge and the education of, knowing what people are doing when they're saying something to you and, they're, full of crap that, to be able to, kind of stand up and kind of whether it would change the decision or not. But I think, and I'm sure you're like this, Trav, you just give everything you can to your teammates. When you're out there, you work as hard as you can and you do all the right things there. And, the old, you can control what you can control, but I don't like the way that they, I guess, present it or deceive players into thinking, hey, we love you, you're great, and blah, blah, blah. A month later, you're gone. You're right, you're an asset. But I mean, I guess as a player, you have to understand that, especially when you get to this level of the NHL and guys are getting paid what they're getting paid. That's the business. It's not necessarily, I would say, conducted in honor all the time, and it's a kick in the nuts. But I think that's just the reality of the game, and I don't think that's going to change.
Well, like you said, there's a lot more support now. I mean, the cautionary tales are more so through experience. But if you had an opportunity to go back and talk to Chris Mason back in 1995, through 2000, if you could have, grabbed him by the shoulders and said, "All right, get ready," what are you telling him?
One thing that got me there was work ethic. It was, yeah, another thing too is I realized is it was a little bit of luck. I mean, I played against a lot of guys in the minors that were better than guys I played with in the NHL. You're lucky sometimes. You get an opportunity and it's at the right time, at the right moment. You take advantage of that. And some guys never really get that opportunity. And that's tough to see, as guys that I think could have been good players in the National Hockey that never got the opportunity for whatever reason because they didn't fit the mold there, or they're calling up a prospect that wasn't as good of a player, but they want to see their first rounder or second rounder. So this guy gets passed over. My advice would be to always, because it's tough, and you played pro, Trav, too, to always have that like belief in yourself. As soon as you start getting every level, the higher level you get, there's more doubt creeps in. You're like, oh shit, maybe I'm not that good, or this guy's better. You see this guy and he's like, oh, look at him, he's awesome. And I think to make it to that level, you have to continue to like believe in your abilities. Like, I mean, nobody's better. I mean, that's one of the things that clicked for me to think that I could play at this level was when I used to skate in the summers in Sylvan Lake when Sean Burke was there, and we'd skate every summer. And I know summer's different for everybody. I'm sure you have this, Trav, when you skate in Winnipeg or wherever you skated, you go against guys and you're like, he's better than me, but you know, I'm a kid right now. I'm playing junior. I'm like, but I think I can be there. I can get that good. I went to, you know, New Jersey Devils camp. Um, I was drafted by New Jersey. I went to their camp, and you know, I see Mark Brodeur, Mike Dunham, Corey Schwab. They had a really good, you know, program in Albany. They just won the cup. And I was on the ice with all these guys, and I was like, shit my pants at first. Like, holy shit, this is gonna be crazy. And then you start doing drills, you know, you get into the games and stuff. I'm like, you know, they're better than me right now, but I think I can, you know, get there. So you just got to believe in yourself. And yeah, obviously you have to do the right things. You got to be willing to work. That's the biggest thing. Be teachable, listen. You know, you're not always going to agree with, you know, the goalie coach on what to do, but why not try? You know, why not try to do something or change your technique? And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, just, you know, you can do what you're doing or find something else. But that's another thing that's been crazy is the evolution of the goaltending coach and now the position. So I just think that self-belief and work ethic is the biggest thing that I'd give anybody advice to. I think if you do that and commitment, you know, if you've got the ability, you'll make it.
Hey, more hockey content. It's might be old, it might be new, it might be a full episode, it might be a half episode, but you can click these boxes because who doesn't like clicking boxes?